Hi, and welcome to General Meeting. I'm Becky Sloviter. My guest this week is the super funny, super talented, and super deep Michelle Badillo. Her name probably sounds familiar to you because I talked about her with Lacey Jeka, my guest a few weeks ago. They were just in a writer's room together for an upcoming Hulu show. And Michelle and I had worked together a few years back. She's so incredibly smart, funny, all the things. And her character work, I mean, I talk about characters all the time, but she is just a real one when it comes to that. And it was really fun to connect with her here. We talked a lot about her path from Queens to Loyola Marymount to opposite coasts, and then to getting a really fortuitous first job in the industry on a hit Netflix show. She also worked on A League of Their Own and a lot of other great shows. She is just a really special person, and I think you guys will really enjoy this chat. So thanks so much. See you next week. Michelle Badillo, welcome to General Meeting with Becky Sloviter.
Hey, Becky. How does it feel to refer to yourself in the third person?
Weird. Real weird.
Yeah.
And maybe
No, it's cool.
Maybe I'm going to stop doing so pretty soon.
No, I don't want to shame you out of it.
No, you believe me. Any shame that someone would direct my way, I already have in spades. No one ever knows how to say Sloviter, and I think it's me beating people to the punch.
Maybe that is why I know how to say it, because maybe you beat me to the
probably.
punch.
Hi, Becky Sloviter. Just growing up with a last name that, I hated the first day of school. Everyone was like, it was Rebecca. I was like, Sloviter. So I think it is a total I didn't quite realize it, insecurity of doing something that's a little more forward facing and not wanting people to be like Slavitier, whatever. But let's get back to Michelle Badillo. Welcome.
Hi.
First of all, this is the first time something like this has happened where literally Lacey Jeka was here last week talking about her experience. And she's like, I think I just worked with a few people that you know. Do you know Michelle Badillo? And I was like, I love Michelle Badillo.
Well, I just want to say, just to give Lacey her due, well, first of all, she's just incredible. But in terms
Magic
of,
person. Love her.
To witness somebody's first time at a job, I would never have known if I hadn't known. I mean, she is incredible.
I'm excited for you to hear some of the things she was saying about you. It was truly, though, I think I referred to you at one point after she was sharing the story of how supportive you were in the Phony writer's room, of having that big sister, of just the encouragement. And she was like, Michelle and I got so close that she could tell even if she was swiveled away from me.
I could feel that she had a pitch.
Correct.
Well, because we
say it.
Yeah, we were like sisters at a certain 100%. Point. It felt like she was my 8th grade best friend or something.
It's so interesting. The 8th grade best friend thing really strikes me because that feels very writer's room to me.
Totally.
Say more on that, if you would, as someone who is, I don't know if I'd call you a veteran, but you've been in many writers' rooms.
I've hit me the other day, it's been 10 years. And I was like, but I'm so young and gorgeous. How could it possibly be 10 years? And what have I done?
Only a woman would be like, and what have I done? Right? It's been 10 years. I mean, I'm going to yes and that and say, I've been out here for almost 25. That's the mind fuck.
Couldn't be. I don't believe it.
Why, thank you. But that's the weird thing. Now being someone in my late 40s who's like, but wait, I was just 27. How did this happen? You know?
I mean, I remember my very first job, there was a writer, Sebastian Jones, who had written on Friends, and he was turning 50 that year. He was that. He was like, you will blink and you'll be me.
I'm going to go back to the beginning for a beat, and then actually we can get to my question about the writer's room.
Oh, yeah, and the 8th grade of it all.
But I think let's do origin story first, if we could. Born and raised in the Bronx.
Queens. My dad's from because we worked on this whole thing that was about my dad and his family were all from the Bronx.
Okay.
But yes, I was born and raised in Queens.
Growing up, you have this desire to be a performer, an actor, a writer, just something creative?
Well, for a while it was very vague. I was just like, I'm going to be an artist.
Yes.
Of whatever flavor. Probably because I had seen Rent or something.
By the way, don't make me start singing.
Growing up in New York, you can have these, like every high school has like vouchers where you could go see Broadway shows for like $10.
Oh my God. I mean, that's the only show that I could recite backwards and forwards and still know every single song and like means everything to me. Did you like inject Rent into your veins?
I saw it 4 times. I mean, I think before that I had also a notion of just like, I wanted to be a
Mimi.
And well, first of all, duh. Yeah. But like before I'd seen it, like that just helped continue to like frame my ideas. My grandmother thought I had like excess energy, so she'd gotten me, I did Saturday classes at the American Academy of Dramatic Arts for like from like 12 to 17.
Nice.
But I don't think I even like told people at school about that. It was like my secret Saturday life.
But did it light you up? Were you like,
oh, I was obsessed. Yes. Yeah. And I mean, of course, I wanted to be a performer. I wanted to be a comedian. I wanted to be like a musician. I mean, I couldn't really play. I mean, I sucked at guitar, but I was just like wanted to, I had like vague notions of like fame artistry. And creativity and artistry. And like, I had always loved writing or was good at writing.
And you are such an incredible writer. And we will get to how we met and the project we worked on together and all of that. There's just a heartbreak because it's so fucking good.
I mean, it brought me to you, which is ultimately the most important thing.
It was so great. Oh, I loved working with you so much. When I was texting you after Lacey was here, you were like, when we realized we both knew you, we were like, oh.
Yeah, I mean, it was like, obviously.
I love it. And I can't wait for this show that you guys just worked on too, because it feels like she was telling me a little about it. And also I remember when that sizzle was going around and it was like, oh shit, what is this? And Hulu lost their mind for it and bidding more and the whole thing. But just like, that sounds like a cool fucking room that you were just in.
It was great people.
So after high school.
Yeah.
What happens next?
Well, I didn't want to go to college, famously, because I was going to move to the city and be an artist.
Of course.
And my mother was like, I have been saving up since before you were born. Like, there is not a world in which you do not go to college.
And your older sister had already...
was at Johns Hopkins, being brilliant.
Oh, boy.
Then I was also like, well, I'm never going to do that. So I have to, like, be a street rat.
Right.
But yeah, truly, my mom had set up like a 529 plan like the minute I was born. And that's what it's called? The college. Yeah, it was just like, there's no, like, this is the gift they give you is your education. You can go anywhere you want, but like, you're going.
Yeah.
Which is such an incredible privilege that at the time I was like such a little bitch.
But it all worked
like,
out.
How dare she? She doesn't get me.
Where'd you go?
So I ended up, I was like, fine, I'll go for screenwriting. But of course I had waited too long. So there were only like 2 schools that had, still had applications open. And one of them was Loyola Marymount. I didn't even know they had a good film program. It turns out that they do.
Yeah.
It's just that applications were still open.
Yeah.
And I got in.
Amazing.
So I show up. It's the weirdest part of LA. It's like,
it's south of the airport? Is that right?
It's spitting distance from the airport.
Okay.
In a little town called Westchester.
I now know 2 people whose kids go there, love it. And I have some friends who live in Westchester. So sort of, I have more familiarity than I used to. But everyone loves it there.
I hated LMU, I will say.
Okay.
However, but that, I mean, I will be forever grateful. I had a professor my sophomore year of college who was a working TV writer who ended up being my first boss, and that gave me my first job. There's a lot of great things that you can get. They're not paying me, so I don't need to say nice things.
No.
There's a lot of great things that you can get there, but
For sure.
I had just figured out that I was gay. I was like, not Catholic.
Yeah.
Like it's a school of incredible wealth. I mean, there's also a lot of people who don't have incredible wealth who go there, but most of those people don't live on campus.
Right.
So and also I came from Queens. So I show up in this, like, psyched to be in LA. Then I'm in this weird part of LA that doesn't feel anything like LA. I don't have a car. Everybody is whiter than white. It was like going to school with one mildly attractive blonde girl and her like 2000 twins. Like, it was just like, it was
amazing.
Luckily my random roommate like ended up becoming my best friend, and we were like these like weird freaks there. But other than that, it was not a culture that like made any sense for me.
But you did stay for all 4 years and get a degree in screenwriting.
I mean, yes, and the screenwriting program was great, and I loved all the And
you had this great teacher.
And I had this teacher who like really connected with, and like, again, like truly, I feel like that whole experience was so I could meet this friend of mine who went on to be my now former writing partner. We had all our classes together, had the same professor who put us together and hired us. And like, so I would never change having gone to LMU.
Totally.
But it was,
in hindsight,
yeah,
you're grateful.
And it's a weird place to go and be gay and be like, I'm moving across the country to come out.
Yeah. And like, oh,
I'm
hi.
the only gay person.
Yeah.
Actually, now everybody since has come out, and it's like, actually, now I don't care. You can go back in.
Totally.
I needed you then.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't need you now.
So then, did you graduate with the intent of, okay, I am now going to figure out how to have a career in screenwriting?
Yes, which they still don't really prepare. Like, I don't think it's possible to prepare somebody for that because
certainly
there's no track that makes sense, especially now.
I was going to say, so 10 years ago or 11 years ago, whenever you graduate, it seems like a wildly different time to me than right now.
Yes, I graduated early. I graduated a semester early thinking, as if this matters for TV, I'm going to be ahead of the curve of all the people applying to jobs. Like, it's the 80s and we're all going to Wall Street or something. Like, ridiculous. So I graduated the end of 2013. I knew nothing. I knew not one thing to do.
Yeah.
The only things I did that were like entertainment related right after school was this professor. She would do this like breast cancer benefit night of one acts every year, and I would do
cool
stage crew for free so that I could stay in her orbit.
Yep.
And then she had a friend who was a producer who did who I would PA for doing like 20-hour long commercial shoots, making $200 or whatever.
Yep.
So it was just that.
Like your foot is just a little in the door.
But it's still like none of those things feel cumulative.
No,
like
they
when
don't.
I look back, I can like create a roadmap for how things happen. But in the moment, it was like, okay, I'm doing this thing that doesn't make me any money. This thing that makes me money doesn't make me enough money to eat.
Yes.
And I'm not like, I'm meeting people, but it's like, I'm not meeting people who are going to help me be at TV. Like it's just none of it was making sense at the time.
You're not feeling like you're on the track. What then is that jump for you? And how long does that take before you're like, okay, I am on the path now?
Well, I got absurdly, ridiculously lucky. So I'm doing those things. I'm doing like transcription for journalists, which actually is probably the most helpful thing one can do for dialogue writing. Because you're just listening to people speak on how people actually talk. Right. As opposed to how you'd like them to talk.
Yes.
And now looking back, I'm like, this was 5 minutes long. At the time, it seemed interminable. I had done one short film for a Outfest.
Okay.
Like I had done a fellowship program, but then it was also like I did the short film. Nobody saw it. Nobody cared. It went nowhere. Like it was just like great. Nothing is cumulative.
And again, you're in the headspace of like, okay, maybe this is going to be it.
Nothing is it.
And then it's
okay. No, nothing is ever it until the thing that's it.
Yes.
And then I got ridiculously lucky. This professor called me. She said that she had this show for Netflix.
Yep.
And would we want to be like would Caroline want to be her assistant and I would be the writer's assistant. Mm-hmm. She was like, it's about this like Cuban family and the daughter's gay and like blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yes, are you kidding me? Because I'm taking this call like naked with like a 2-week-old Domino's pizza on my lap because I would buy one Domino's pizza a month and stretch it. And get so ill. And I was like, yes, are you yes. I had there was and then
truly.
And of course now the things I had done prior to that where she was like, I had helped her for free and that her friend, this producer that I worked for, that was her friend, could speak to the fact that I was a hard worker and she was like, what have you been doing since I last saw you? And I had made a film. Like,
yes.
So then all these things they were cumulative. In the moment,
they don't realize it in the moment.
Totally. And you need the catalyst.
Such a good lesson for anyone at any age working towards something. You don't realize the building blocks sometimes.
Because nothing feels like it adds up to anything until suddenly it does. And it's like the most, you can't, it's so confounding. And I was still super young.
Was that one day at a time?
So the day after, so she calls, she was like, so we actually can't find any, and this is how different things were at the time. She was like, there are no young gay Latina writers.
Oh, wow. This is 2013, 2014,
this was like 2015 maybe when she was like, there aren't. And so would you guys, instead of being assistants, would you just want to staff? And it's like, what are we going to be like? No, we'd rather.
Yeah, exactly.
We'd rather do it the hard way. So
you kind of cut the line to some degree.
And she was like,
never work as a writer's assistant and are just a staff writer, we should say, is sort of the entry level writing
TV
job.
Writing
but you are on that writing staff.
Yes.
Incredible.
So she was like, great. We were like, yes. And she's like, great. Send me your samples tomorrow.
Okay.
and
you had them.
And your meeting will be on Monday. No, I did not have them.
Wait. Okay. Go on.
But
so this is
what you can do when you're just turned 23.
And you have 2-week-old Domino pizza that you're like, never again.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I was like, I need the original pizza and I need a spec because that was what you needed at the time. They were still doing specs because there were still shows that like everyone watched.
Yeah.
And so so I had written something in college I knew she hadn't read that was original. So I was like, beef that up a little bit.
Yes.
And then the only show I could think to do a spec of was Broad City. So in the middle of the night, I wrote a Broad City spec, which I looked at recently. And if you like you can see the periods are like this big because it's probably like 12 pages adjusted for like, and then like I sent them to her at like 6 a.m.
Did you ever end up showing Abby that?
No, I didn't tell her for like 5 years because I was like, I don't want her. I don't want her to know this. I would never let her see it. So I wrote this Broad City spec in the middle of the night, and I sent this other thing that I had written in school, and then she was like, "Great, staffing meeting on Monday." And then so we start. So then that was I got to truly. That's why it's like when somebody's like, "How did you get started?" I'm like, I don't know if it's a useful story at all because it was like God came down and granted me my dream job.
And also, so this was on One Day at a Time.
Yes.
On Netflix.
Yeah.
Which was such an incredible show and was also, so it was a remake or a reboot, I should say, but also kind of in that moment, it felt really like, I don't know if groundbreaking is the right word, but it was really like, oh, they're doing something different here and everyone is loving it. And it is both like a return to a form, but also feels very modern.
It was a very special show. I think that Norman Lear model is timeless in a way. I mean, less so now because news moves so quickly, but like in terms of like, if you want to make a family sitcom about something, like that sort of Norman Lear kind of like everybody's got sort of a different opinion and we can have like a weekly issue and we can talk about it, but in a way that feels like coming from the characters as opposed to like issue down.
Yes,
like hopefully it feels like character up, but and also like to be a first time writer and work on a multicam.
Yeah.
Which I don't know that I would want to do a multicam again because it's such a writer's medium. You have to be there for every single part of it and you have to do things so quickly.
Yes.
You will never have to work that quickly again.
From friends I have who've worked on multicams, they talk about it. It's akin to being on stage.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it's like a play. You're doing a play every week.
Yeah.
And like as an actor, when people like run lines up to you, like new alts, and you have to like on the fly do them, and then we're on the like needing to be on the floor and come up with a new joke.
The pressure of that.
But it's such a thrill, and when it actually goes in, but then you'll never ever ever have to work that quickly again.
But but
it develops a great muscle. I think.
Well, totally. It reminds me, and these references might be too old for you, but like the Sorkin dialogue on The West Wing, right? Or even when Scandal was on and the Shonda dialogue and just how like quickly it all moves and the walk and talks and everything. To have to use that muscle early in your career like you had to, that's such an amazing foundation to lay.
And also because you have to go to rehearsal every day as a writer. Like you have to go to all the run-throughs and to immediately see how what you write on the page, like how it sounds up.
Yes.
Is so helpful for, because it's like the way people say things is very different than the way that you write them. And to like learn how to like mold to that. I think it's like one of the best. And I got to be on it for 3 years. So it was like one of the best like learning experiences. Yeah.
So you leave One Day at a Time. You have ascended beyond staff writer at that point?
Yes, we had gone, my writing partner and I, it was the staff writer, story editor, executive story editor. We did, we were on track. Yeah, so we had also worked on, in the off season between, we had worked on the show called The Bold Type.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yes.
Freeform.
Yes, people love The Bold Type.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know if I knew you were on that show.
Yes, we were on the second season.
I was making Alone Together at the same time at Freeform. And
remember those early Freeform days?
I sure do.
Oh.
God, those were delightful.
Then I think right after that, I started on the Horror of Dolores Roach.
Yes, yes.
And then right after that, I went back to League.
Okay, so then the League experience is great, and also waiting to see if you're going to have that second season is such a long, arduous thing. And I want to say that is when we met.
I think that's right.
I was in a deal at ABC Signature.
Yes, and I was doing my I'm Taking Time to Pitch.
Yes, exactly. And was it Carpet Muncher that was the sample?
Yes.
Everybody loves that.
It feels like it's the only thing I've ever done.
Well, I remember Stephen Lieb calling.
Oh, Stephen Lieb.
Hi, Stephen Lieb. Him calling, he was, one of my execs at ABC Signature, and he was like, I want you to meet Michelle. And I was like, oh, Anna Flickinger had sent me the sample. Love Flick. That's one of your agents. She had sent me the sample. Everyone was just really, myself included, like really taken with your tone, your humor. But it was so, and it's really interesting to hear you talk about the transcribing journalists or like hearing how things sound in an actor's mouth, coming out of an actor's mouth versus on the page. Your dialogue is so natural and so real.
Don't look.
No compliments?
No. Okay. Well, I mean, that's incredibly, incredibly kind.
Well, it's very true, obviously. So Stephen arranged for us to hang. We did, on Zoom. I think the first time we actually met in person was when you came to see me at Miramax.
I know. I just thought of that in the car because we were like pandemic era. Yeah.
This is like all of my closest people. I'm like, you are a box here. And we were all like broken down humans and like.
Oh, yeah. We were like in this. We were like,
shit. Because we also connected before the writer's strike.
Yes.
And then throughout also.
Yeah.
I would get on Zooms with...
Because we weren't allowed to actually talk about work. But,
correct, which we abided by.
We did not. No. Pencils were down.
I would get on every goddamn Zoom and like just, like checking in, how are you? And like everyone's horrible.
Everyone
myself included.
Like shit, yeah.
And the like catchphrase I almost would say is like, the only comfort is the commiseration. Like we're all in this together, no matter what angle you are sitting at. The sheer panic and depression and just where our business was already going and then living through that was really pretty wild.
Yeah, harrowing.
And we were then working on your project, Donna Wants to Believe, which
she still does.
She really,
poor girl.
Love her.
She's out there somewhere. But that also was like a bright spot for me because, when I had pitched it to a bunch of people casually and nobody had everybody was like, if you have anything else, feel free to come to us. And then I remember starting to tell you about it and you immediately said to me, like I hadn't even said, like I never like to talk themes or whatever in those meetings because that can be like alienating and it's like
pretentious.
But you like immediately also, said the thing that I had was like my secret like theme. And I was like, oh my God, this person actually gets it. And it became this bright spot because it was this way to talk about all this like
100%.
I just got to call my friend Becky and talk about pretend we're talking about Donna, but just be like, wouldn't it be nice if we could believe in something?
100%. TV functions in such an interesting way where if you take something up to the line and then it doesn't get bought or you make the pilot and it doesn't go as a series, it sort of evaporates.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I do think Donna is such an indelible character. And also, because I think this is such a trademark for you, so funny. So she was talk about a flawed character. And at the same time, you love her and root for her and are on side with her.
She was deeply twisted. But
for sure. Yeah. But those aren't those your favorite kind of characters? Those are mine.
What else are we doing? What else are we trying to watch? I think.
Why? We're all so fucked up. We want to relate. And my therapist would tell me, maybe use kinder language. But it's not that we're all so fucked up. We're just, being a human is hard.
So hard.
It is.
I felt like there was also, and I mean, this was kind of ridiculous because I probably was at the time 27, but I was like, there's so much about coming of age and it's really quite boring. Obviously, that's an important part in everybody's life. But looking at my people in my family who are now in their 60s, I'm like, those people are coming of age still.
It's pretty wild. I heard someone say somewhat recently that every grown up, and so I include myself in this, I include you, but I include truly everyone, is really just an 8-year-old walking around in whatever that body looks
a big skin suit. Yeah. No, it's really...
We're just dealing with our shit, man.
It's
in
really
the best
something.
way we know how.
And a lot of people, and this was also what the show was about a little bit, was when you get stunted in these moments in your youth, something traumatic, or just the coping mechanisms that you develop as a young person that then you spend the rest of your life. I mean, if you're lucky, you spend the rest of your life trying to untangle them. Yeah. And if you mostly you're self-unaware and not trying to untangle them and just being an emotional terrorist to everybody around you.
Yes.
So this was sort of the story about sort of careening around being an emotional terrorist. And then you finally do, when do you finally reach the point where you're like, maybe I could change?
Yeah, exactly.
And then, but can you? We could have explored it, but We won't.
And you may still. I remain hopeful.
We need Latina actresses who can move the needle, or so they say.
Yes. Our list was
J-Lo?
Very short.
Yeah.
And also
Middle-aged.
No, I was going to say not right for the part. Like there were, right? Like there were a few people we talked about.
There was somebody I had in mind who
would be perfect.
Yeah.
And it just is not a household name. Yes. And therefore.
It does.
But it's, yeah.
And I don't even know if that stuff's true sometimes. It's like they act like names move the needle and they don't. Things don't get made all the time.
For sure. Oh, and then, my God,
like, you look at, like, okay, I'm sorry to be like everybody else, but he did right. It's like the things that become popular are never the things that...
No. They're the exceptions rather than the rules. Totally.
But then they're like, let's just do that 50 more times. And it never works again. It's like, why do we...
The like human nature aspect of how Hollywood functions, it really is like we'll never,
the massive risk aversion,
never learn the lesson.
Yeah. And much like Donna.
Exactly. Scarcity mindset. And like, what does it take to change? I had a boss many years ago who said, and this really stuck with me, she was like, people don't change until it's too painful not to. And I think that is such a clean distillation for any person dealing with something specific, a company, a business,
an industry,
just an industry. We're in some pain, correct? People don't change until it's too painful not to. And that is, I think, thematically something that we talked a lot about, fascinating to explore. Working with you was so like creatively fulfilling because we could have these bigger conversations.
I loved having it. It was like the most.
Well, it's the best, right? Like, again, what else are we doing here? Can we lose half a page in Act 2? I'm just like, that's always such an eye roll to me. And that's why I am not a good executive. I am way more of a producer.
Yeah.
Like, that is someone's job to be like, I hear you, but it does need to be 34 and a half pages.
But you were like, it was so incredible to work with you also because I guess it's like when you create something, you hope that it means something to anybody other than yourself. And when you would call, like sometimes we would have a call and you'd be like, I was in the car the other day and this fucking thing happened to me and it made me think of Donna. And I'm like, that's like, I don't ever have to make this show. Like that's the fact that something came out of my head and you were and you thought of it ever in your life.
100%.
Like that was like everything.
I think this brings us up to Phony.
Then the strike happened, and then I'm
going to start twitching, thinking about it.
Time to work on other things.
Yeah, and it's
just code for just simply not working.
Yep.
And then
like everyone else in this town, truly. I've never seen anything like it.
It was rough.
Yeah,
it was
really rough. How long was that period?
That I'm not working?
Yeah.
It was a little over 2 years.
Brutal.
Which I didn't like because brutal. I think
the mind fuck of that too. Like there's the financial panic of that. And then there is the, wait, am I literally never going to work?
Yeah. And I was like, oh, I've been doing this. This is what I went to school for. This is what I started doing. I have no other skills. I have another skill set. The only other things I would want to do are like even, less secure.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's
my other degrees in women's studies, which are known to be a huge moneymaker.
But this is the plight of the artist, right? Like this is as you go into, and I'm saying this like, I only realized this applied to me as I got further into my producing career. I found I was able to really strongly relate to my friends who were actors and writers and directors and had a life of, even with successful careers, impermanent employment for the first time. Because when I realized what's actually more important to me than what is this job on paper and how much is it paying me? What art am I able to make?
Yeah.
Like period, end of story. And I'm sure I've said this before, but there was a movie I was trying to put together for years. And my husband was like, if you would just agree to make it with X and Y actor, you would have made it 5 times by now. And I'm like, but I'm not interested in making that version of that movie. And that is the push and pull. And when there was more volume and work in Hollywood, that was a little more possible. But
there was more space for things that didn't need to be these like, huge mega hits or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah. I say it with like just huge empathy of having that moment of like, wait, maybe what is going to happen here? Like, really, it is not a fait accompli that I'm going to get another job.
Yeah.
And
which I had never felt before, even though you go I would go 8 months without working, but then it was like, it's not just me. There's like, actually, there aren't jobs and I probably won't get the ones that do exist. But then I still, even though I was saying this before, like gave me life altering GERD, like changed, like my hair under this is gray. It looks good.
I was going to say.
No, it's right.
Are you like, let's not pretend that that's a bad thing? No, God bless you.
But I still wouldn't trade it. I know it's like I still wouldn't.
What a great perspective to have. Like you are, again, really, we were talking about this downstairs. Like when you've been at a place of like really bottom, and then you, like the gratitude that you feel. I feel this about 1,000 things in my life. Like that gratitude is palpable, right? So any struggle you're going to have now, like as you said, life-altering GERD, and anyone who's listening to this who does not know what GERD is, you wouldn't wish it on your worst enemy. Look it up. It's not fun.
Acid reflux on steroids. I guess also I don't have kids, so I don't I have nobody who I need to make money for other than me, and I can live a lot smaller than I do.
Yep.
And I'm not saying like I don't mind being poor, because I do. Having money is way better than not having money. It's so much cooler. But
my friend in college told me that she grew up with not much money, and that her mother used to say to her, it's just as easy to marry a rich man as it is a poor man. And she is such an impressive, incredible human being in her own right and has this like incredible career. But yes, all things being equal, recommend being comfortable.
Yeah, but I think I was like, oh, I would still rather be miserable. Like, what am I going to work at? To me, I think work, and because like work and art and all these things I've been blessed enough that they've always been linked for me, which is a privilege also. That I'm like, I don't. And it took me a long time to stop judging myself about that, because nobody, like my mother works in...
Talk about shame.
I mean, yes, like there is no, it's a family of incredibly hardworking, intelligent people. And the idea that I would be like, and I don't work for 8 months and that's fine. Because I am working in my own way. I'm just not making any money.
Correct.
No, you don't think of that as work when you think of that as work.
Exactly. And I think that's what is so unique to have a career in Hollywood this way, but also like... I was talking to Randall Park about this when he was here, and I thought this was really, I just loved that he said it, and I've actually had a lot of people check in with me about this. He's like, employment's always been hard. Like, yes, it's hard now.
Yeah.
But getting and keeping work, and that doesn't even just apply to Hollywood. So I think that is a truism, but also the inconsistency of it and the not knowing what's around the corner. But then at times you are then paid very well, and it compensates for the other. So yes,
it allows you to float a little bit.
Totally. Being able to hold that tension is the work, as we say.
Yeah. And by the way, I say all this and I'm like, I wouldn't trade it right now as we speak. Life-altering GERD.
Yes.
It's not comfortable. It's like not.
You will be having plain chicken for lunch.
Oh, exactly. I will be. Yes.
Don't season that shit.
No.
So you have about 2 years before you then get this job on Phony.
Which I got because I had worked with Goddard's company, and they were,
Oh, did they produce it?
Yes.
Oh, okay. And remind me, Drew's partner, Sarah
Esberg.
Yes. I hear she's incredible.
Fantastic.
I hear the best things about her. Yeah. It does all, like the cumulative effect.
Yes,
you didn't know.
I had been pitching a show with them that we worked on for the same time as working with you, and that didn't go either. And
so that was the connection.
That came and then Nick Haley, who was the creator, had worked with. Had worked up on Broad City a bunch, like directed one, I think, like some editing, or can't remember exactly what he did, but so he knew Abby well, and
so Abby, being the queen that she is, put in a good word.
I think I would hope, but I would assume, because I do I basically can't conceive of how I managed to get this job, because I wanted it so badly. That I'm like I'm just like, it must have been a lucky map of.
So great
things that have,
but again, it all leads to okay.
But yes.
So you guys just wrapped that room.
Yes.
I was asking Lacey this, and then this is sort of my last question before we get to last looks. I was asking Lacey, and I'm curious for your perspective too. You had this fallow period. You then get this job you wanted so badly. It was great. You don't know if you're going to have a season 2 yet. Are you in that, as I always call it, like the white hot panic of, will I ever have another job again? Or are you like, okay, this got me back on the horse in a way where I can be comfortable, and like, if season 2 happens, I want to be available for that? Are you like calling your agent every day, like, hey, what else is out there? Get me another job immediately? Where's your sort of anxiety level about this?
Right now, my anxiety level is actually kind of low. I think because we just finished, and I feel like I get a minute.
Totally. And she said it was 20 weeks.
It was 20 weeks. Yeah.
Not an insignificant amount of time.
And I feel like, there are other things that I want to, like, I'm not trying to get in a room right away. If something incredible was, that I had the opportunity, whatever, I wouldn't, I'm not.
Yeah, you're not kicking it out of bed.
Yes, but exactly, crackers. There's some stuff that I've been saying I'm going to finish a movie for 10 years, forever. It's hard. Well, with pilots, the only reason it's easier is because they're shorter.
Yes.
Or not the only reason. And I don't lose faith in the ideas quickly.
Yeah.
When you get to the second act of a film, which is like a beast, because that's where all the story actually has to happen and has to make sense.
Yes.
Then I start being like, you are a stupid bitch. And you don't
Why you exist in this town is a mystery to us all. Like the self-loathing talk is so loud at that point.
This is about nothing. I don't know what you thought you were doing.
Well, and it's also at that point you are more than halfway across the pond. Like shore is way back there, and land that way is also not close. So you're like, what?
So I just drown. It's like you actually just need to get to the other side, but I'm always like, I'll just drown.
Yeah.
I'm circling back around to just a couple things that have still stayed on my mind and stayed with me. And I'm like, if they've stayed with you, they're probably not stupid bitch ideas.
No.
And by the way, even if they were, that's fine.
Well, everyone
just finish something, you idiot.
Those are your words, not mine.
Yeah, no, they were yours.
They apply to me.
Slip me a note
for me.
before,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Make sure. But isn't it wild? I think about this a lot because our internal, and I'm sure this was like during the pandemic when like any Instagram post or any article I read was like some sort of light of like, here's why you're feeling this way, right? I read at some point, 90% of the feedback loop in our head is negative thoughts. 90% on average. Like that's fucking crazy.
I believe it, but it's
I
insane.
believe it too, but I'm like, that's so sad. I heard some advice once of like, talk to yourself how you would talk to your best friend. And
people love that to say that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I tell all my best friends that they're ugly and stupid. So it just really, I don't
So
get
it doesn't work for you.
It doesn't work for me.
The only reason I like wanted to even touch upon this for one sec is I think there's the only comfort's the commiseration. Us just being, and I think like women are doing this so well lately, is just like, let's just be real about this. This is what it is to be a human being. Some days they have their shit together quite a bit, and other days they don't.
And like, the thing you're doing, everybody's doing.
Yep.
And that
exactly.
You would think that, it does make it better. It doesn't stop the thing, but it makes it better. The positive stuff doesn't work as much as I think the only like trick that's ever worked for me is like, okay, so what if it sucks?
Yeah.
Like, so what? Just do it. Like, so what?
Well, Edie Patterson was here and she was talking about, she does this one woman play, a completely improvised 90-minute play.
Whoa.
Completely improvised. And so I'm fascinated by like just, she's such an improv queen, but like being able to do that. And I was asking her something about like, do you get nervous? And she was like, I have to get to full fuck it, meaning I have to get to a place where I remember we're all going to die someday. And it is like, yeah, fuck it. What's the worst that could happen? Put yourself out there. And that's the wonderful thing I'll say. I mean, you're only 33 years old. Like it just gets better from here. You are a low baby. That. But it is really true. Like you keep getting just more comfortable in your own skin, I guess. And more like full fuck it. Like, who cares?
Be nice.
Yeah.
That sounds great. I can't wait. Because I already, like, when people, like, I never ever, when I left my teens, like, was never like, oh, I wish I was a teenager again. And then when I left my 20s, like, I thought I would have way more of a, like, oh my God, but
no, 20s is so hard.
Oh my God. I'm only 3 years out. I'm like, you couldn't pay me to go back. Are you kidding?
100%.
Are you kidding me?
Couldn't agree more. And
then I know, like, I have weirder shit happening now and like whatever, but I still wouldn't go back.
And I just heard Michelle Obama talking on Call Her Daddy about how her 60s are the best decade. And I'm like, I do feel like it does keep just getting better. And the sort of offset of that is some of the physical things. Like, it's just, there's some shit.
Yeah.
So your anxiety level right now, in terms of what's next for you,
not
is
super
like
high yet.
Under control.
Yeah, for now. I have to finish these things. If I, for some reason, don't finish at least one of these movies, because I'm not even so anxious right now about never getting another job. That'll come later when I don't get another job. But what
refuse, delete.
I think right now my anxiety is on like myself as like a. It's still hard for me to be like myself as an artist.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I hear everybody being like, shut up.
I know.
But
I'm from Queens.
Yeah, we don't.
Did I say that?
We don't talk about that kind of stuff. No, but like truly, just this feeling of like something that a boss or a manager or an agent's not telling me to do, like just something you create from yourself that you are not worried about whether or not it like just a thing that comes from you, and even if you think it's stupid or not, like you put so much. When you end up putting so much pressure on like, this thing that comes out, like, the first movie that I write that other people are going to read, that's just me. It should be like exactly everything that I've ever wanted to say. And it's like, well, it won't be and it can't be. And that doesn't make a good movie. Like, just make it.
And holding the space, as we say, for both of those things, good for you that you like can have that one thought and then it can be followed really quickly by, and it won't be, and that's okay. And like keep pushing forward.
But now I have to break the second act.
My friend Michelle told me that I want to say it's a yoga class, but she went to recently. She said at the end of the class, the instructor said, "You're good. You're safe. Keep going." I know. There's an acknowledgement in that mantra, "You're good, you're safe, keep going," of like, and I'm really worried, and I'm anxious, and I'm this and I'm that, and also keep plowing forward. So you're going to figure out Act 2, and you're going to do all the things, and I can't wait. So we have gotten to the end. Last looks. I sent you the questions.
Yes.
You've listened to some of these episodes, so you know. We asked the same thing at the end because I wanted something that was a bit of a connective tissue through all the episodes of the pop culture we love and a celebration of that. So, first question. What is either your favorite movie or a few movies that you feel are representative of your taste?
We could go on for quite some time. But
when Edie Patterson was here, she ultimately named 8.
I feel like the trifecta I used to say that I felt like hit like a bunch of, so we're like maybe it's already like it's already a square, but like I used to say like Taxi, and these things are still true, but Taxi Driver, which I think by the way is a comedy, and actually says so much about everything that he was doing in that movie is what men are doing right now, like the embarrassing man. All right, Taxi Driver, Zoolander. Okay,
I can't wait to hear what one the third of this is. But yes, but stick on Zoolander for 1 sec.
Mermaids.
With Cher.
Grew up with a single mother and a sister. And
I remember my mom and I loved that movie. What is Winona's character's name? Charlotte.
We're Jewish.
Yeah. I mean, and Michael Schofling.
He was I'm fully gay. He was so hot in that movie.
No, what I mean, again, I know Michael Schofling.
I know.
16 Candles, Mermaids. That's all you had to do.
That's all you had to do.
Like, I know you're in Vision Quest also, but like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I love that movie. Bob Hoskins in that movie.
Fucking Hoskins. And it's like
when the Kennedy assassination happens, I could talk to you about mermaids. The fact that you pulled
Charlotte,
mermaids,
you drive the way old people make love.
Oh my God. Oh, and little Christina Ricci as the swimmer in the pool
with the
she's
orange,
perfect.
the pumpkin on her head.
Oh,
the fight that her and her mother, that Winona and Cher get into when Cher slaps her. She's accusing her of being, it's just like turning into your mother and your mother not wanting you to be her. And it's the best.
I am now going to go revisit that. That is one. There are some that like, and you're so much younger than I am, but seeing that, like my mom and I saw that in the movies, but then I owned the VHS and have seen it so many times. It's like in my bones. Love it so much. Okay. Taxi Driver, Zoolander, Mermaid.
And then like Heathers.
Yes. Obviously. Yes. Corn nuts.
Great pate, but I got a motor.
It's perfect.
The original Hairspray. Of course, like John Waters, Rocky Horror Picture Show. Like whatever, like all the camp. Whatever happened to Baby Jane. There was a huge connection point between Lacey and I.
Okay, these are incredible.
A League of Their Own.
By the way,
not because I wrote on the show, but because I love that fucking movie. I think like Madonna as a supporting character is her best work. It's like some of her best work.
It was.
She's so good. Her and Rosie.
She and Rosie. These are great.
Great
influences. Desert Island albums. You are stranded on a deserted island. You have 2 albums with you to help maintain your sanity until you're rescued. What are those albums?
Okay, here they are. So first, we're starting with Harry Belafonte, Calypso, because then it's like we're embracing the island.
I love it.
Well, because I was really thinking about it. I was like, is this like my two favorite albums? But then I got really into the question where I was like, if like what would truly like how would I get through?
Yes.
So that's because then I love those songs and we're leaning in.
Yes.
And it's like, okay, like we'll make our little Castaway bow.
It's fine.
But then when that is driving me insane, then we're switching. We're switching completely. We're doing. First, I was like, is it Metallica? But then it's Whole, Live Through This. Because we need to live through this.
Did you see the water I poured you?
Well, I did not.
From a Metallica.
Well, I see. And now it should have been fucking Metallica.
I mean, it really should. But Whole, Live Through This. Say more.
Because we have to live through this, you know? So it just, I felt like it's got to be like, we got to do Calypso. And then when that's driving me insane, like I'm switching to like something. But I was like, I love Metallica and that I think would be really helpful. But like my true like Whole is important to me, or was very important to me.
And if you're choosing a whole album, that sort of rage and energy versus Celebrity Skin, which is also a great album,
let's talk about reason. Yes, totally. I mean, Celebrity Skin is like, but it's a little.
Oh, it really had morphed by then. Yes, totally.
And like, it's still good and fun. I love a ton of songs on that, but it doesn't have the like Live Through
exactly.
This. Yeah, I think Live Through This has Jennifer's body on it, which was also one of my favorite movies.
I love it. I love that you were able to get one more in there. Thank you so much.
Did I beat the record? Is that like 10 or 12?
Yeah, exactly. I think so. We'll get there. Okay, books. Do you have a favorite book of all time, or just a book you've read recently and would recommend? I wanted this to be a recommendation section also, but that's been also really cool. People reaching out of like, I just read this and it's so good, or I need a new book. I went back and looked at what so-and-so's choice was.
Okay, I love that. I'm also always looking for books. This was a very important book to me. I read it when I was 15 for the first time, and then I recently reread it. But Virginia Woolf's Orlando, which I do recommend.
Never read that.
First of all, you should read it.
I love Virginia Woolf so much, and talked about this when JJ Philbin was here, because Indigo Girls rites of passage specifically meant so much to me.
Yeah.
And I know so much about Virginia Woolf, having not read Orlando, but I know so much about her because of that song, and then being curious about Virginia Woolf.
Yeah, I mean, Virginia is somebody, if you want to get curious about somebody, like read somebody's letters, she's a great person to read her letters and her like love letters, and her diaries, great diaries. But
so I haven't read Orlando.
Really is like a long form love letter to Vita Sackville West, who was her sort of like longtime lesbian kind of affair.
Yeah.
But also like best friendship and this sort of like, you know, but it's about Vita sort of, but the book starts out, it's about a man named Orlando. He sort of lives for like 300 years and it's never really addressed. He keeps having all these different experiences. And then halfway through the book, he wakes up one day and he's a woman. And it's just a sort of book about like how there is no difference really between, I mean, there are some differences, but like that is like women are no less intelligent or this or that, and actually like men are similar.
Which is like borderline transgressive at that point.
I mean, it was incredibly because it was like this very sort of like gender fucked kind of like very kind of gay because he's like in love with a woman in the beginning, and then then is a woman now, but it's sort of like stream of consciousness, like just the way that she wrote it was so revolutionary for the time. And there's so many, you know, it's like 100 years old and you read this book and it's still, some of it still feels so resonant.
That's what's so wild, and that is what honestly Amy and Emily were singing about in that song of like, it's, you know, the connection through those pages, even though it is so long ago, but doesn't
because
feel
it's so like when somebody was, I mean, she's so smart and it's so intellectual, but it's also so from this,
her
like
soul,
her gut and her soul that you can't, and because of the stream of consciousness of it, there's ways that our brains have always worked.
Yes.
And completely. Our like hearts and whatever. And
I love that.
And I think like even if the subject matter was totally boring, like the way she writes it is so radical and revolutionary and so resonant. And like I would recommend it to literally anyone at any moment.
I can't wait to read this.
Yeah.
Okay. Last question. TV show. Do you have a favorite of all time, or what have you watched recently that you loved and would recommend?
So favorite of all time. Well, I will say one of my favorite shows of all time that I rewatched recently, and it's still held up for me, and I don't think people give it enough credit, and I think people need to revisit it. It's The United States of Tara.
I have never seen that show.
Okay. First of all, people want to talk about like they know they know about Toni Collette. You don't fucking know about Toni Collette unless you've watched United States of Tara.
Sit down, Muriel's Wedding. Like, calm down.
And I love Muriel's Wedding.
Of course.
Please.
Of course.
Okay. But No, truly. And look, there's a conversation to be had that was had, and we should still have, about whether or not it was an accurate portrayal of dissociative identity disorder, which I mean is still a controversial diagnosis in and of itself, or whether or not like we should be using that as like a storytelling device. Sure. But
having said that,
and I'm not sweeping those under the rug, but having said that, first of all, just like in terms of acting, it's like the most incredible. Like she plays. It's a show that should not work. It doesn't make any sense. It's like, it's about this family, and then the mother has dissociative identity disorder, and you can't quite, like, there's clearly some trauma in her past that they're like trying to figure out. But then it's like taken on and so she plays, like in the first couple of seasons, she's playing herself. She's playing this like uppity housewife character, and then she's playing like a 16-year-old slut named T, and she is playing a man named Buck.
Amazing.
And
she is next level.
And you come to love each of these people as totally different characters. Wow. And it really is like about like the complete portrait of what it is to be like a woman and a mother, and how you have all these like other sides that and your children.
And even Buck is one of those sides.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
And like, and also how trauma fucks your head.
Yeah.
And like fucks all your relationships. And also how like and it's also just about a family. Kind of like traumas bond you. And also then you sort of grow around them.
Yeah.
And at some point you stop
like they
growing.
Are stagnant.
Like, are you now like growing through them and with them? Or have you now grown around them? And like, how has the dynamic become toxic now? Because like the husband always has to help her out, but then does he kind of love being a savior? And when she's feeling better now, does he not? And it's just like you get into it's just like it's a show about a family, beautifully done. And
I can't wait to watch this.
And
this
was
so funny. It was on Showtime.
It's on Showtime.
Immediately as you said it, I pictured Toni Collette,
because it was Diablo Cody, which I guess I've
created
thrown her out a couple times together. It was like her and Steven Spielberg.
Oh wow.
Where Brie Larson started.
Oh wow.
She played the daughter.
Cool.
Viola Davis has like a bit part, like a 3-episode arc. It's so funny, and it's so deeply, and it's not really making fun of this disorder.
No.
Like,
well, no, Toni would never approach it that way. Or
well,
I'm sure
no,
writing,
I mean, and what Toni is doing,
next level.
I mean, it's truly, but I mean, and I think it ended up being only like 3 seasons, so it's not a hard.
Great.
It's always what I think of as this sort of like gold standard for me of like, I don't think it's the best show ever made, but I do think it's like, oh, when I think of things that I would like to make, it's things that like are that like so fucking weird.
Yeah.
But also like because they're about these things that we all
that are so universal.
I mean, well, I'm not saying anything everybody else in the entire history of this industry hasn't said, but I just think that's a really good example of
doesn't
not
mean
that many
true.
shows actually get made and
completely. And what a dream role for roles, but what a dream part for Toni to play.
Crazy.
Yeah. Oh, I can't wait for this. Great.
You just like believe. You're just like, yeah. I mean, I love Buck.
What a great note to end on. Michelle Badillo. I mean,
Becky,
this was all exactly. Becky, how do we pronounce it? Michelle Badillo. I'm Becky Sloviter. Nice to
Sloviter. Yeah.
Thank you so much for doing this. This was so fun.
Thank you again for having me.
I never know how to end it, so I'm gonna get up and give you a hug.
All right.
And until I come up with a General Meeting with Becky Sloviter is hosted and executive produced by me, Becky Sloviter. Our editor is Jay Rothman. Our audio engineer and director of photography is Hector Fernandez. Our tech producer is Griffin Davis, and our theme music is by Jay Rothman. Special thanks to Tanya Dahl and Cody Blue Snyder. If you're enjoying this podcast, I would be so appreciative if you would subscribe or follow the show on whatever platform you get your podcasts. All of our episodes are on video as well on our YouTube channel at General Meeting Pod. Please consider subscribing there as well. And you can find us on Instagram and TikTok at General Meeting Pod, and more information is on our website, you guessed it, generalmeetingpod.com. Thank you, and most importantly, even though they're not in season anymore, go Birds.